So the season just ended, and you've got to be anxious to just sit back and relax, but not so fast, my friend. There's 3 pretty important things you need to get started. You might as well do them now before you kick up your feet.
We're not going to get a second chance in the game.
Welcome back to Talking Football, Talking Coaching. And I'm going to try to do this video here today in one take. So there's going to be some little mistakes, some things, some misspeaks, if you will. But I feel like it's a little bit more genuine. As to make a note, saying is something I'm trying to do less of as well. So let's see if I can pull that off. Before we jump in, there's some important links below. Below you've got an access to my own personal website where I host the videos that I've produced about my style of play over the years. So you've got that link below, but also be sure to check out all that we have available for members. I actually just added 4 videos from our archives that were over on the website that used to be clinic.chiefpigskin, and now just moved them over here. Some of the last ones that were yet to be moved over to our YouTube site here. And these 4 were from Jake Novotny, head football coach at Fountain Fort Carson, Colorado. This is from a trip I took in 2021. Some videos I really enjoyed. This one here today on the 4-quarter process of the offseason, we're really addressing this one, quarter number 1. This is what he does very well. And so we're going to talk about that today. But also this video here on changing football practice, the banked reps theory. I think I've mentioned it before, had a huge impact on my program and how we practiced, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So all of those are available for members below. If you are serious about coaching, whether you're just getting into it or you're an old veteran, but you're kind of maybe starting to refresh and plug into in some different ways because maybe you've been frustrated with how things are going, man, be a junkie learner. Join us as a great community of learners that we have here. All right, 3 things that are important to do in your postseason. Let's take a look at number 1, which is get feedback. Now, I have to admit, this is an area I have not done well. Simply put, not done it well. I've had a couple seasons where I did it well. I want to get feedback, but this is something that they do well out in Fountain Fort Carson, that Jake Novotny does well. And that's from this video right here. I was impressed with this. So quarter number 1, they've got to get some feedback. So first you can get it from the players. I think that's important to get feedback from the players. Now, some people will do surveys. I've never done a survey, but you have done some exit interviews. Now, maybe you do exit interviews with all of your players. I would prefer really just doing them with seniors, but giving them an opportunity to say, hey, what did you like? What did you appreciate about your experience? Or is there anything that you would like to see us do in the future? A very important piece of the puzzle, and a piece of the puzzle that I have to do it better. I need to give the players an opportunity to give their input in our program. And number 2 is you got to get feedback from your coaches. Now, I like this as well. Give them an opportunity to self-reflect on what they do. So maybe there's a form. This is what Jake Novotny does. There's a form that might talk about position play. How did they do? Give them an opportunity to give feedback. What could we do better here? What would we change? And then this one I remember from my very early days with Chief Pigskin as I was traveling, from Jim McKee down at Scott County High School, and they did the start, stop, and continue activity. Again, as hard as a head coach to do is giving your assistants an opportunity to give feedback, which it's easy to take it as a negative, right? You feel criticized in a situation where as the head coach, you already feel criticized a ton. But just give everybody an opportunity on computer, some way, or have them type out answers, some way to give anonymous feedback. List one thing that we should start doing in our program. List one thing you think we should stop doing in our program. And then name one thing that we should continue to do in our program. Great way to get feedback from your coaches. And again, I would really urge giving them the opportunity to do this anonymously. Because it's inevitable. Your feelings are going to get hurt as the head coach. That you got to be tough enough to do it. Which again, easy for me to say because I haven't been great at being tough enough to receive feedback. So let's move on to something I've done better. It's way easier for me to talk about the things that feel like I have done an okay job of over my career. And number 2 is you have to evaluate. Now you've got to evaluate some things that we were doing wrong. So let's look defensively. Defensively, one of the first things that I think you need to do is dive into your season's film and find all the big plays you gave up. So any gains of 20 yards or more that you gave up on the defensive side of the ball, you need to take a look at those. How many did we give up? We always want to be reducing number of big plays because big plays change the game. But what caused them? Was it a blown coverage? I remember back in 2013, we had a lot of big plays given up, and we were playing a lot of Palms coverage. We gave up a lot of vertical passes, especially outside the numbers. And so guess what? That was the last year we ever played Palms. As much as there's a ton that I like about playing Palms coverage, but for us, it was leading to big plays. Now, there are many ways to look at that. You could criticize me and say, well, that's on you to coach it better. But I wanted to make it a priority to give up less big plays. So we got rid of that cover. We got rid of Palms because we were making too many mistakes in it. So that's an example of finding what's going wrong on these big plays. Is there a common theme going on throughout? Okay, and then that leads right into the next one, which is, can we find a list of common mistakes that we're making? Maybe there's a certain penalty we seem to be getting a lot. Are we jumping off sides a lot? What is happening? What are the common mistakes? Do you see true missed tackles, right? Not just getting outrun, but true missed tackles. And is it in a certain area of the field? You never know what you're going to find, but look back and look for the things, the commonalities of mistakes that you've been making. Once you've evaluated and found some mistakes, now you've got the off season. You take this list into your staff meeting. You say, these are the things that we struggled with. Now, fellas, we've got this off season to put together a plan on how we're going to improve these 5, 7, whatever it is, improve these things. Now we look at ourselves offensively. We're going to start right there at the same place, which is, is there a list of common mistakes? Is there certain fumbles? Are we having too many fumbles? Are we jumping off sides? Are we getting a lot of holding calls on maybe a certain play? Sometimes you have to look at it and you go, maybe we need to cut this play out because we're simply like, we're just not it's not worth it. We're spending all this time and it's not popping for big plays, and it happens to be the play we're getting penalized the most on. Right? So once you identify it, maybe there is a clear way to clean that up, but you also have to consider maybe we just cut that play. Also, I would take time to look at what stalled us out. Where's the drives where we stalled out? Like, man, look at this. We kind of puttered out. I mean, we struggled on this drive. And then how can I find some common themes within that? Just an example of something that I found when self-scouting myself at the end of the year, once upon a time, I noticed that I was not very good coming out of halftime. I was getting stopped a lot coming out of halftime. And I had to evaluate and allow my staff an opportunity to identify what was it that was stalling us out. And likely, what we found likely is I was extremely conservative. And as the second half started, I wanted to play everything closer to my chest, and I was way less willing to take any risks. Hello, this is Nate. Okay, actually had to cut it right there. Just got a phone call. So I don't want that in the video. So take a look. What's stalling you? How can we find areas of growth? Just identifying things. Finding the things, let's make a list so that we know what we're approaching. We know the problems we're trying to fix this off season. The last thing is now it's time to organize. Let's get organized. And I think it starts with spreadsheets. Maybe you're not a spreadsheet person, but Jake Novotny gave some really great examples. I think you want to start getting things on spreadsheets. Here's all of our kids. Let's start with the seniors. The seniors outgoing, spreadsheet it. What do they want to do? How can I help them get there? I think it's important not to just seniors are done in November and I forget about them until graduation. So have that list. What's that spreadsheet? And how do I serve them from now forward? Or maybe you have a coach that you assign to serving the seniors from now until graduation. But then I take the spreadsheet of these are all my kids that are coming back, and I need to track some things. I need to track strength, or what are our strength goals, and how do we track any progress we're making. I need to track attendance, and I should probably track grades as well. There's a story there of a mistake I made not checking grades, and it cost us when the following August came around. But I want spreadsheets, and one of the great things, there's a coach that does this very well locally. His name's Josh Joseph over at Maroa Forsyth High School. It's just that adage which you've seen, and they do it a lot in the Feed the Cat system, which is, track it and post it. They're going to track things and post. Who's the top 10 in attendance? Who's our top 10 speed gainers, right? Who's gained the most speed, or who are our top 10 fastest guys? Just track things and post it. Find a way to post it so you're not necessarily hurting everybody's feelings, but it's important for the kids to know that you are tracking what's happening all the way down to attendance, and that you're posting that so they begin to feel that, that's a little bit of peer pressure working for your program. Be sure to use that. The next thing, or final thing for this video, is your calendar. Organize your calendar. The sooner you can get the following year's calendar out to your coaches and to your kids, the better. I think you should work like crazy to get the calendar into their hands by January. Now that's going to include things like summer camp and where we're going for 7-on-7s. So that gives you now till January to get with other coaches in your area, find out when the local 7-on-7 tournaments are that you might want to go to, but you've got to put together your plan so that you can get this into your coach's hands. They can put it on the family calendar so that your families can put it on the family calendar, and they can start to communicate with you when they are or are not available. The sooner the better. Get the calendar out there. Once you get these things done, now you can start thinking about resting now that the season is over. Well, thank you for joining me. What did I forget? Would you add anything? Please leave a comment below about anything you would add. Share this video with someone you think could use it. And thank you all for your support of Chief Pigskin over the years.